Howdy y'all, Stock Warden here, back with another video. In today's video we're going to be looking at JOBY Aviation because they have put out their fourth quarter 2025 financial results, and they also have some really good news that is now came through for a massive partnership. So the last time we had looked at this stock, we were looking into the trend line on the resistance levels, also on the bear flag that they've currently been on since previous October of 2025, and we figured that they would come into a decent pinch point sometime in the $15 range, with a bottom dollar range at $13.03 a share. So they did hold on to that line very strong, and they did continue forward with holding that resistance line until they had a massive sell-off back in Thursday of the 29th of January. They had a insider that sold over 5.7 million shares of JOBY Aviation, and it dropped this stock so hard that it still just has not been able to recoup as of now. So they are now currently, they closed today at $9.61 a share. They have also been degraded by the Deutsche Bank, where they cut JOBY's price target to $6 from $7 a share, and they are keeping their sell rating for the stock. And H.C. Wainwright upgrades JOBY to buy from neutral at an $18 price target. So they also have these different sets of price targets because they came in at two totally different times. So one came off of just the Q4 earning report, and then you have the other one came off on a little bit later with the better news articles that they had. So they did end up having a surprise on their earnings, where they ended up coming a little bit ahead than what they had expected. So they definitely blew Q2 and Q3 2025 out of the water. So they are being pretty financially stable as of today. So as far as the earning report goes, they ended up having their shareholder letter for the fourth quarter. Also, they did a audio webcast that was to discuss everything at 2 o'clock back on February the 25th. So you can go to businesswire.com and get the full release of that webcast if you do want to check into that in more depth. But to touch on all the highlights, they had a record certification progress where JOBY recorded a record 18-point increase in FAA progress on the fourth stage of the type certification process, underlining the FAA's commitment to certifying the eVTOL aircraft and the maturity of JOBY's aircraft design. They are also first FAA conforming aircraft for TIA, which is set to fly shortly. So all of the aircraft required for type inspection authorization are also all now in production. Then you also have the first passengers are expected to be in 2026 for this year. JOBY expects to be carrying its first passengers in Dubai this year, as well as completing early operations in the U.S. as a part of the White House-backed eVTOL integration pilot program. So, and the plans are to double their production capacity in 2027. JOBY signed an agreement to acquire a manufacturing facility in Dayton, Ohio area spanning more than 700,000 square feet, supporting plans to double their production to 4 aircraft per month in 2027. Their hybrid turbine electric demonstrator has now completed its first flight as well. So Joby's turbine electric autonomous vertical takeoff and landing aircraft flew for the first time just 3 months after the aircraft concept was announced, alongside a new partnership with L3 Harris Technologies. Then they have a further strengthened balance sheet as well. Joby has $1.4 billion in cash and short-term investments as of Q4 2025, plus an additional net $1.2 billion received in February 2026. So, commenting on Joby's fourth quarter results, Joe Ben Bevert, which is the founder and CEO of JOBY Aviation, he made a statement and said that 2026 is going to mark a key inflection point for Joby. After a year full of rigorous, full transition flight testing and meaningful progress across every part of our business, we've begun to shift our focus from how and when we'll go to market to how many aircraft we can produce and where to deploy them. As we look ahead to carrying our first passengers in the UAE this year and participating in the White House-backed EIPP program, we are confident now is the right time to scale production so that we're ready to serve the incredible demand ahead. So, outside of that, in a separate event in Dubai earlier, Joby partnered with Uber to give riders a first look at how they'll be able to book a Joby air taxi journey directly in the Uber app. So, and that brings me into the direct line of their new huge partnership that they have joined up with is Uber. So Uber said on Wednesday that it is now introducing Uber Air, which is supported by JOBY Aviation, allowing users to be able to book an all-electric air taxi directly through the Uber app. So Joby expects to carry its first passengers later this year in Dubai, marking a key setup in its partnership with Uber to expand urban air mobility. So under this new feature, eligible riders will see Uber Air as an option in the app after entering their destination. So the service will offer one-tap booking that includes ground transportation, such as Uber Black, along with the air taxi flight if added. So in the U.S., commercial service will require FAA certification, and Joby has completed more than 50,000 miles of test flights and has entered the final stage of the certification process. So Uber's stock rose more than 1% during that, and Joby, well, they gained really heavily into the pre-market, but they were unable to hold on to that gain just from looking at the financial standpoint and the direction in where Joby is going. It didn't outshine the people selling off on this stock than the good news sentiment to be able to bring the stock price of Joby up into the air. So this is something that is huge for Joby, the fact that they're going to be able to jump on this massive platform that is Uber. So then their eVTOL system is going to be even more readily available to people, unlike other eVTOL systems and companies alike. It seems Joby has started to try and corner the market a little bit deeper into the consumer market than in just the government and service industry. So that would be where Joby can take one area of expertise and be able to absolutely scale at a astronomical rate at that point. So even though the stock is currently down, it seems like it will be just a dip as the new sentiment has been coming in, and as the further along they continue bringing in these eVTOL systems up to date, up to scale, and finishing and completing these FAA contracts. So there's no telling how awesome and how high this company is going to be able to fly, especially whenever they get to the commercialization phase. It won't be long for them to actually start putting passengers on test flights here soon, because especially in Dubai, they don't have such a rigorous testing and certification process as the US does. So they'll be able to start playing around a little bit more with, I guess you could call it, human trials in Dubai before they actually make full figure in the US market. So that is everything that I have for Joby Aviation as of today's date. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all were able to get a little bit more information on what's going on and where you want to personally stand with Joby Aviation in your portfolios. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is the Stock Warden riding off. So y'all come back now, you hear?